Hi, this is Abigail Maldonado reporting for TraxNews. Earlier in the week, I had an opportunity to speak with a dear friend of mine, Melissa Carter. Now, Melissa lives in Brooklyn, New York, and is the proud owner of Shop I at CP Now. You can also follow her on Instagram at I Am the Carter Project. Now, I took some time to meet with her because as a business owner, entrepreneur, and woman of color, post-COVID and everything that is going on across our country, understanding who she is as a woman and what she stands for, I know that you'll be interested in what she has to say and her take on what's going on.
So Abby's first question to me was, what is my inspiration? My inspiration is my son and how he's going to lead the next generation of fighters, of leaders, of protesters, and beyond. So every time I look at him and I say, you know what, I'm raising you to be an entrepreneur, I think the best way to show that is becoming one myself or continuing with an entrepreneur mindset. My inspiration is my legacy. How do I want to leave this world? What do I want to be known for? I think it's great to be known for fashion, like who doesn't want to be known for their sense of style? But when you are able to use your influence for excellence to create a movement and to create a change, that's what I'm here for, and that's what inspires me. I think I am my best inspiration, and that's not to be self-serving. It's because that's the best way that I can challenge myself, especially during a time where we're supposed to be alone and we're supposed to be sequestered in our spaces. So yes, a healthy Zoom call works now and again, but really understanding how you inspire yourself, create different levels to your business. So that, I think, would be my inspiration. So I really enjoy Abby's second question. She wants to know how I'm dealing with the times. In the times of a pandemic and racial consciousness, what am I doing to take my best foot forward as a mother of a Black son? So I'm gonna be honest, if this was 10 years ago, I would be out in those streets protesting and I wouldn't care about tear gas, I wouldn't care about, rubber bullets being shot in my eye. But since I am a mom and I am closer to 40, I think the best way to protest is to organize, mobilize, and execute. So in doing that, I'm investing a percentage of my business to grassroots organizations that support Black lives and Black wellness. I'm also investing my time with a nonprofit called Suit Up, which is, again, unfortunately, African-American children and children of color haven't been taught the importance of being an entrepreneur, having a business plan, having a profit and loss statement, and really understanding, brainstorming collectively about business. So Suit Up allows me to take my passion for mentorship down a generation and really show Black children the importance of being more than just a person in the room, but being a decision maker. So that's another way I'm donating my time. I also take clothing for donation, and a percentage of those donations have gone to Breonna Taylor's GoFundMe page. This week it probably will go to Sean King, who runs a grassroots organization who has really opened the eyes to Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna, George Floyd. He's actually a brother that went to Morehouse, and I went to Clark, another historically Black college. The importance of silent protesting is just that. People want to say, oh, Beyonce's not doing anything and Jay-Z's not doing anything, but when it comes to light, Beyonce and Jay-Z are behind everyone who has gotten out of prison or the bailout fund. They're the ones who are actually investing money. They're not being boisterous about what they do. They're just doing it silently. So I think what people need to understand, just because you're not out in the streets and you're not holding up your fist, you can do it in other ways from your home, and that's through philanthropy. So that's how I'm staying involved, and that's how I'm staying tapped into the community, and that's just taking my own cash and converting it into something of excellence. Okay, so this is a good one. Challenges I face. So Abby wants to know, what challenges have I faced as the two double whammies, being a person of color, Black, and also being a Black woman. The challenges I face are just kind of like what everyone who looks like me faces, is the constant constantly being underestimated. And to me, I let people underestimate me because they don't know the power of my network. They don't know what I do, and they're immediately assuming like nothing's wrong with being a frontline worker. Not saying that, but they're immediately assuming that I have a subordinate role. And I think it used to bother me, and I always felt like I needed to over project and I need to come in flawless at all times. That's kind of where my style was attributed to. But as I sit in my home sequestered, I don't owe anybody anything but myself and my demographic of people. So to be quite frank with you, the challenges I face have been underestimated, unheard, second guessed. Those are the three things. So as I start to branch off on my own and all the things that people were second guessing when I was working my mainstream job, when we all lost our job, I was the only one with a plan. And it's very interesting how the conversation now has shifted, that the same people that were politicking behind my back are the same people who call and say, what are you doing and how did you pivot? So I think when you get into something new, you just need to lead with your own confidence. Is you constantly ask people, well, what are you doing? What are you doing? My life is not yours. And quite frankly, as a Black woman, regardless of what you're doing, I have to do it 10 times better and 10 times more. And I know this sounds like super shady and super color conscious, but I'm just gonna say it. One woman called me and she talked about losing her job with the brand that we just were at. And I listened to her because that's what people do when they appreciate someone. However, I kept hearing that she just didn't know what to do. Then the third thing I heard after her whole melancholy interaction is that she didn't have a degree. And unfortunately, her head popped in my face and I saw her as being a white blonde woman with blue eyes, and her resume would still get looked at before mine. So there wasn't a moment that I felt bad, to be honest. I think it is white privilege to think that you will have something else next. You will be the first one in, and that is not really a privilege. That's what happens, where as a person of color, you always gotta find a way to hustle. And I think that hustle mentality and the new normal is what is going to get you to the next level. You waiting, and with the expectation to be guided, that's not realistic. So again, I think the challenges are just knowing who I am and what I look like. I don't want to say the downside, but that's just the reality. My hidden bag of swag is the intellectual things that I bring into conversations that people aren't expecting from a woman wearing colorful shirts from an urban community.
I am grateful to Melissa for sharing her inspiration and motivations with us. I believe her perspective is one that should be highlighted more often as she speaks to the importance of organizing, mobilizing, and executing around Black Lives Matter and Black wellness via protesting in silence and other creative ways that will provide sustainability for individuals, families, and communities alike. If you are interested in learning more ways to support such causes, connect with Melissa via IG at shop@CPNow. Reporting for Trax News, this is Abigail Maldonado.